Welcome to today's Christian Music live radio interview broadcast. And I'm your host, Gene Schmidt. I will be interviewing artists around the country who are part of the Christian music organization, CSMI, Christian Songwriters and Musicians International. All right. Thank you for tuning in to today's Christian Music. I'm honored to have Camille Harris on the show. Welcome, Camille.
Thank you. Blessed to be here.
She's been an artist for many years with CSMI and has a very amazing musical legacy and journey. And from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I believe she's back in Oklahoma. So we are so glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you. I am so thankful you came by our church so many years ago. I wonder when you came to our church. Do you remember what year it was?
I came there probably in the early 2000s, mid or 2000 and maybe between 10 and 12.
Okay.
And I enjoyed coming there. And you were very active with Haley with music.
Mm-hmm.
And so why don't we do this? Tell us a little bit about your coming to the Lord and then how you got involved in Christian music.
Well, I have a massive testimony. I got saved at 3 years old. So that's a pretty big deal. You're supposed to laugh. Anyhow, I was raised in a Christian family. My dad was helping with different churches. We went to Africa as kids, went there for 9 months and lived there, which was pretty awesome. Almost got killed on Christmas Day, but they didn't make it to the city. We were in, where was it? Where I'm blanking right now where we were. Sierra Leone. It's Freetown, Sierra Leone. So that was a great start to our lives. And I was around the little kitchen. My dad had, not kitchen, but the living room little table. And my dad had family devotions with us, which I think is so important for families to do. I'm trying to encourage one of my siblings to start doing something like that with her kids, because I was watching The Way of the Master with Kirk Cameron, and I'm blanking now on his name, but Ray Comfort. And they said to just do 15 minutes a day with your kids, of just prayer and reading the Bible, nothing too crazy, nothing too long. Don't hold them forever, just so they have a good experience. And so in that time, they didn't know I was old enough to get saved. And I just prayed myself into the kingdom. Said, Jesus, come into my heart, forgive my sins. I want to go to heaven or something. And then I jumped up on the couch and I said, I'm a Christian now, Daddy. And
And that was at 3 years of age.
At 3 years old. So your kid is not always too young to understand.
Wow, that's impressive.
About God. And I truly, I may have always been kind of older than my age. My dad's neighbor said, she put me in 2 little lawn chairs. I was in a lawn chair, and there's one next to me. And they put a little radio on a table next to me. And she said, I tuned the thing past all the rock stations and everything to classical music. And I just sat there listening, so that was kind of fun. But so maybe I was a little bit beyond a 3-year-old. I don't know, but able to comprehend. And so I count that as my salvation experience. And then I got baptized at 8 years old at summer camp. But I don't know how serious I knew it was or wasn't. I got rebaptized at 21 years old. And that was a very emotional experience. I felt the Lord tell me to get rebaptized. And me and my little sister, Rayma, I'm one of 8 kids. So Rayma and I both got baptized the same day. And it was just very special. And I'm thankful to have a Christian heritage. And I was just telling someone at church last night, because I'm helping with the kids now, which was really cool. They just asked me to start helping with choreography for Easter for a little song. And I just told this kid who had read through the picture Bible 3 times, I'm like, you are awesome. Keep doing that. Read it to your siblings, but also get into the real Bible. Now he knows all the stories, and that's amazing. But now I hope he'll start reading the whole Bible every year, 3.5 chapters it takes. But that reading the Bible, I think, really kept me out of the rebellion stage, because I read it 4 times by the time I was graduated from high school, 18.
Wow, awesome.
I'm very thankful.
And then how did you get started in Christian music? Like what started going on in your heart and life to get involved in that? In music in general, and then Christian music?
When I was 10 years old, my dad brought home a little a little classical guitar from the pawn shop, a little mini guitar that could fit my hands. I still have it. The tuners are messed up, so I really need to go take it into somebody to fix it. I'd love to produce a whole kids line of those because I think they're such a great way to get started. I almost tried to buy one on Facebook the other day because it was like, they're so great. But he brought me the guitar home and taught me 4 chords in the kitchen. And that woke up my whole musical side. When I was like 3 and older, I had started writing little songs, just singing. I was a natural little songbird from a young age. And like, I think around 7 years old, my dad was trying to get us to go to bed. But then before that, he said, what's God speaking to you? What's God telling you? And whether it was me or God, I heard you're going to be a singer. So I told Dad, I'm going to be a singer one day. And it ended up happening. So I thought that was really cool. But he got me up playing guitar. And then I don't know when, but he had a keyboard. And he showed me just the scales, just the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, just the 1, 3, 5, you know, all the way up. And so I would go frontwards and backwards. And that's pretty much all I knew for years. And so I had my 4 or 5 chords. I wrote my first song, or maybe 11, somewhere around there. 10 or 11 probably, and it was called When You Call Upon My Name, Lord. When you call upon my name, Lord, I will answer you when you call my name. So anyways, and I just the music kind of went dormant for years.
That was your first song?
Uh-huh.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so, and I played it for the family, the relatives at Christmas time. My parents dressed me up like a little artist, jean skirt and a little very knit sweater top with different colors and a hat and boots, and I was just sitting down playing my guitar. And but I didn't have any training. I didn't have a teacher, which that's, I think, why I love teaching now, is because if I can unlock someone's musical brain, it can send them on a path for years to come. So I make like courses. I have a YouTube channel called Fast Track Music School, and I'm going to start doing more ukulele, guitar. Maybe I'll get drums and bass and different teachers for different instruments. I play a little bit of a lot, mostly guitar and piano and ukulele. But so then these people came, these worship leaders, young worship leaders. They'd been in Hawaii. They were just so fun and free. And this girl named Kalea Ellison, she gave me a steel string guitar at like 15, taught me chords. They were so encouraging. They taught me some ukulele. She taught me some piano chords, how to make majors and minors and sevenths. And she's a music teacher. I didn't realize she's a music teacher. She's got her own whole own school. I don't know if she does it anymore. But that clicked and changed my life. And I just they taught me the key of E, the high E up on the neck, you know, and the different cool chords, A opens and stuff. I just went to town writing songs at 15, 16. So I was homeschooled for 2 years. And I wrote so many songs, and it was just a great thing. So having someone kind of give you the tools was life-changing for me. And then I just kept writing. And then my dad started recording us, and yeah.
Tell us about starting to record. How did that process happen? Where did you do that at? What were the first few songs you recorded?
Well, my dad was a pastor at the time for 7.5 years. We started a little church, and I started on the worship team because the worship leader quit overnight when my parents were out of town. So then I had to step up. And because I had all the worship chord charts, I started to notice what chords went together, you know, and then I was like, oh, so it was so helpful to be on a worship team. So I highly recommend everyone join a worship team and just get familiar. Even if you don't play on Sunday morning, just ask if you can have the sheet music and if you could practice with them. And they might allow you anyways to do it. You know, a lot of people on your on your show watching may already play instruments proficiently, but that was so helpful for me to just kind of start to see the patterns of all that things. And so my dad had a guy come to the church named Jerry Reed, and he was a construction guy, and we had problems with the building, asbestos and whatever else. We had to move out of that church building eventually. But he asked this guy if he would like to be part of fixing the church up. He said, well, I'm not going to fix the church up, but your daughters, Dad said, I want you girls to sing for him. He said, but your daughters are great singers and we're going to get them in studio. So he put $600 up, took us to Drapp Studios. Louis Drapp, amazing guy to record music, plays like every instrument. He was raised, you know, working at a music store. At some point he was doing that. So you play everything, and he just has the gift, you know. So then he took us down. We recorded our first 3 songs. I think it was Well Done on our Christian album. It might have been Never Lose My Heart on, it might be on our Rocky Road album. I'm not sure which first three. I have to ask Haley. She's got a
And
pretty
what was the studio name?
Drap Studios. Lewis
Oh,
Drap.
wow.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Going. He's still rocking. He's actually the worship leader of my church that I go to, and so he invited me to this new church, and so I'm now plugged in there, and it's a big blessing. So your network, is important.
So you got involved in recording, and you've had some pretty huge successes on YouTube with some of your music. You've had songs and campaigns for people running for office. What's been some of the favorite parts of your musical journey, like highlights for you?
Well, after recording, my dad said, "Okay, we're going to raise $30,000 to do 30 songs, or something like that. 30 songs." I'm like, "We don't need that money, Dad." He's like, "Yes, you do." So he went and raised money, and people believed in us, and he recorded us 3 albums. And then he said, "Now we're going to do 50 songs." And I'm like, he's got bigger faith than me. So he's like, hopefully not now. Hopefully my faith is growing, but he raised more money, and we got 5 albums going. So right at that time, I think I was 19 years old, we saw Rick Santorum, who was running for president against Romney and Obama at the time. And I saw him. I went to this church, saw him speak. We weren't raised with TV, so we just saw minimal stuff of this and that. We had clean movies and things, but we didn't have normal cable almost ever, minus some Saturday morning cartoons and things. But whatever I saw of politics here, there, and anywhere, I had never seen a better politician than Rick Santorum. He was so just seemed genuine, just seemed real Christian type, leader. And so I said, what can I do to help his campaign? And I talked to the guy that did the ground team in Tulsa. He said, well, write a song and we'll help it. We'll tweet it out and it'll go to 1 million views. And I just thought, I doubt it's going to go to 1 million views, but I'm going to write a song. And so we wrote a song, me and my dad, Haley, my mom. I think someone else might have inspired some words. It's just people put the stuff in the pot, and the song just came out, and within a few days, the whole thing was recorded. My dad got a guy to, I think it was like $300 or less, maybe $150 for a music video. Anytime you get a new music video guy, they are willing to do it for cheap. And so we didn't have a lot of money. So we were very thankful for that. And he just killed it, stayed up all night to make it, I think. And we posted it, and we sent it to the guy, Patrick Hayworth, and he got it tweeted on Rick Santorum's. And just like he said, it went to 1 million views. And that was back when we went to My First Love Band, which I'm thinking about reviving that channel.
What was the name of the song?
Game On. Game On for Rick Santorum, a song for Rick Santorum by Camille and Haley. And it was on the First Love Band channel, which we changed our name later to Camille and Haley, but you couldn't change your name if you had more than 1,000 subscribers or something back then. Now it would all be on the same channel, but we changed to Camille and Haley later. And and then we did it again with the Trump song years later. So
now, what song was that?
That was our Keep America Great song.
How did that do?
That one went to 1 million views on our page, but it went to 30 million views on Twitter. On Cal Perry from MSNBC. He filmed us outside of a Trump rally in Tulsa because it was the first post-COVID Trump rally. So people were just waiting outside, camping. It was expected to be a very big event, but a lot of TikTokers had inflated the numbers. And so it wasn't as big as it thought. They thought 2 million people were coming or something like that, if I remember right. So we did the music video outside, and we recorded it. And actually, we were doing cabinet refinishing at the time. My family still does that, but Haley and I don't. So we went there, and these people were millionaires, and we gave them our 5 albums, and we were singing little songs like Sisters and stuff from White Christmas. And just 4 of our sisters were in that kitchen singing, and they had this beautiful big, and we gave them, they said, "How much do we owe you for the albums?" We said, "Oh, no, it's free, And then they wrote us a $2,000 check, which was such a blessing. And we used that money. We made a music video. We went and recorded the song. And then we had a certain amount of time off work. And after the whole thing, I calculated the time off work plus all the costs of everything. And it was about $2,000. So that's totally God's hand, I believe, and then it went to millions of views. Other places, this guy, Mark K, did a cover video reaction. That went to 1 million views. China uploaded it on Billy. That got millions of views. And so it's just, I think, a collective like 50 million views. And so we started traveling to Trump campaigns outside. We would, with just all the other vendors. We weren't invited. We would just go. And then somebody else, this is so cool, another Christian music artist from back in the day, he wanted to support Trump. And so he said, well, I think a great way I can support Trump is by supporting you girls and your dad and mom to travel for 2 months before the campaign and just go sing. So that's why we're able to travel to campaigns. And he donated $20,000 to cover my dad's time
Who
off.
was the artist?
I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to think of if I should say his name or not.
Oh, yeah, let's not do that.
Artist, but my dad was a big fan. And
Wow, how amazing.
Yeah. I should ask him if he would be okay with me mentioning his name.
Nah, that's okay. That's okay. But here, I had a question. So you've had songs about themes against sex trafficking, helping the poor. Tell us about maybe 2 or 3 of songs that have impacted some form of social, what I would call social, standing for something for God in the area of our culture.
Yeah. Well, in the 2020, when they started defunding all the police force, my dad said, Camille, they defunded the Austin police force. What are you going to do about it? And Dad knows that he can get me to write songs sometimes. And so called me up. I said, well, Dad, pray the song on me. And so 4 hours later, he called us back and the song was complete. And we played him Back the Blue. And so that, I don't know how many views it has, maybe, I don't know, 80 something thousand views. But then a guy in Florida who owns a bunch of clinics for health, that's like kind of like the government pays for like Medicare or Medicaid or something for like elderly people to be able to get treatment. Anyways, he has 50 clinics. So he put $50,000 into getting that song put on TV so that it, instead of saying pro-Trump, Trump is Back the Blue. So that was a way to support Trump secondhand, right? So that was pretty crazy. So a lot of artists stray away from politics, but they don't even know there is so many open doors in the political world. If you want gigs, sing at political rallies, right? You risk, I guess, people being upset that you're a Republican, but if you're a true Christian and you know anything about government, even though the Republican Party is not perfect by any means, you're gonna vote Republican or at least independent. But if you want to have someone who's going to win, it's going to be Republicans. So if you want a vote to count, you got to vote Republican, like it or not, you know. And so it's like, you got to stand for something. And I'm going to stand for pro-life. I'm going to stand for Back the Blue, even though police officers, not everyone is above ground, but most of the police, we would want them to be there for us if we needed them. And so if you get rid of the police, the local police, you end up with worse problems and people from coming from out of state and whatever that don't know the local people. And, you know, anyways, a lot of people that don't like the police officers don't know enough about all that kind of stuff. And I still need to learn even more than I know now. But the other thing, so I don't know how much that's influenced. I just know a lot of police officers have been very blessed by that. A lot of them wanted to quit, and you do not want a police shortage. Crime will go way up, you know, and innocent people dying for no good reason, getting stabbed for no good, because these people being let out or not being caught, you know, of jail.
What about the song Slavery?
Slavery, yes. So years ago, I saw Lisa Bevere, and she was doing an initiative for the sex trafficking to stop all that and bring awareness. And she works with A21 now, which is an amazing thing by Christine Kane. And so I just I'd never heard of sex trafficking at the time. And so I asked the Lord to give me a song, and I don't know, it didn't seem like it took that long. And the song just flowed down, and it's called Slavery. So that's on our Camille and Haley channel. And so we've played that at different anti-sex trafficking events. We allow anyone to use our music for, you know, good causes. We're just like, yeah, put it in your video, share it, send it around, whatever you want to do. The whole goal is for, you know, these things to be stopped, you know. So I don't know the impact of that either. I pray you write your music, you push it out into the world, and, you know, you just pray that it's doing some good. So I hope it's made an impact, you know.
I love your heart for the Lord. I love your passion. And tell us a little bit about the times that you worked with your sister Haley, and You guys have done a lot together. But tell folks a little bit about that, your journey with her
Mhm.
musically, and then tell us some of the goals you have now with your music and things you're doing, and what you desire to see happen in your music ministry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I was thinking about one more song we did. Haley and I together was the pro-life song. You know, the pro-life one, the March for Life.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one at pro-life rallies. And that's one of my favorite songs. And a lot of people, that's one of their favorite songs of ours too. So if you want to look up March for Life by Camille and Haley, Haley's a big pro-life advocate as far as a cause. That's probably the top one on her list because these kids don't even get a chance to live, you know, and like no matter how good or bad your life is, we all get a chance to live and make it better, you know, and get to know Jesus and love other people and use our testimony to change people's lives or feel their pain. You know, if you never go through anything, you don't always got a lot to say, you know, but it's a blessing if people don't go through things. So anyhow, my journey with her, she started recording with me and singing on the worship team whenever we were young. I think she was 13 and I was 15. And she learned how to harmonize from my mom. And then Haley, I didn't have the best ear. She still has a better ear than I do. And she's harmony queen. So, and my mom as well. Those girls are amazing. So Haley would, in worship practice, mom would sing in Haley's ear to teach her the harmonies. And then Haley would sing to me the harmonies later and teach me how to do it, you know, which was such a blessing. She mentored me in that way. And so she would, I would write, I'm a starter. I write a lot of songs and Haley's more of a finisher. And so I would start most of our music and then she would come in and she would say, you know, oh, let's change the key. Oh, that song sounds like a Taylor Swift song. We can't do that. You know, like I don't listen to a ton of music, it seems, not like some people. And so I don't always know what's out there very commonly. To some extent, I listen to music, but I try to listen to Christian and clean or jazz music, you know, instrumentals these days a lot more than anything. But she would give me lyrics. She would change things. She was such a great co-writer for so many years until she got married about I think about 4 years ago. And now she's got her own family of 3 children. So we just heard her third baby was a girl. And then we found out they messed up the system and it's actually a boy. So she's going to have 2 boys and a little girl, little Oreo, boy, girl, boy. And so we would sing together, pray together. We shared everything together, shared a room, shared a car, shared clothes. We couldn't share shoes because we have different size feet. That was one thing we were so sad about. But it's okay. I've gotten over it. So we traveled and sang at churches, rallies, and events, weddings, baby events, you know, what baby events? We do babies. I don't know, you know, just little things like anniversaries, all that kind of stuff. And so we just wouldn't do bars, wouldn't do casinos. I wouldn't want to open for anybody who I didn't agree with. And so we probably, retirement centers. That is one thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to music. Retirement centers have a budget. They have a music budget, and it's a great place to grow and to bless people. I literally, on my calendar today, was book a retirement gig because it's one local place. They're desperate for people, and they'll pay like $75 to like $125 or $300 for like a really unique thing, like if it's like a special holiday and they want it like save up some money for like Valentine's Day or Christmas, you know, but they're just every month thing. And so those things really sharpen you and keep you in front of people. And yeah, they're a big blessing because they love the music, you know. And so
I love that. So Camille, tell us, we got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Tell us your goals now, what you want to accomplish, and where you want to go with your musical journey.
yeah, well, I just got Logic finally after all these years. So I really would love to start producing my own music. So that'll be a future or soon goal. I've started to learn how to use it, but it's quite complicated. I've gone to the studio for most of my time. So I'd like to do that. I've always wanted to use my voice and my music and my platforms to raise money and awareness for godly causes and to ease human suffering and give people a chance at life. And so I'd like to become a lot more involved in the pro-life movement. Yeah, for sure. The sex trafficking, anti-sex trafficking things. And as much as possible. I would love to use my voice to even more things. Hunger. I'd
Well,
like.
you know what I'm going to do? I'm friends with the head people of Nehemiah Alliance,
Oh,
the prayer events this fall
wow.
at Washington, D.C.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to connect you with a gal because I don't think they have anyone in Oklahoma representing them, and tell them about your music. But I feel very good about that. And so your goals are to continue writing, correct?
Continue.
And
And I have so many songs now. My sister and I did 6 albums together. When she got married, I did a 7th album on my own, just home acoustic, a lot of Christian songs. And then I have probably 2, 3 albums unrecorded, and I have a lot of songs to finish. I might even have more than that. So I want to do all that. And as I was telling you earlier, I'm all into the natural health. So I'm doing the Amazon
yep,
store now. Just figure that
we'll
out.
let everyone know ahead of time. We're going to do a show we have not done on health products for Christian musicians. And I think it's needed, and we will do a show on it.
I was literally indoctrinating Jean just before this show. All my display of natural health products changed completely to non-toxic as far as all my beauty, all my hygiene, everything. I'm trying to get to natural fiber clothing, all these things, because we don't really realize what's affecting us. And so I'm big into health and fitness now because I gained weight. I'm losing it. And I didn't even want to be on video for a while because I was like, whoa, I don't look like myself, you know. So I say, I know Gene can't believe it, but he wasn't here to see. But so I'm just like, this is important to take care of your health because I'm 34 now, so it can your body changes as you get older, you know. And so I'm rebounding, I'm jump roping, I'm having a lot of fun learning all these routines and all the things that you can do that are really fun. Choreography with those things sometimes are just workouts that I didn't know existed. So I jump instead, and I follow another girl that does jump ropes and another guy. So that's a YouTube channel. So anyhow, so I'm interested in all of that, and I'm starting my music school online, Fast Track Music School. And I started my Patreon for that. So I think I'm just going because one day I want to have a family and a farm, and so I might not be able to travel as much as I'm able to right now. And I want to be very able to make money from home, but also influence from home, all of it, you know, and probably raise up other artists, worship leaders. I'd love to start modest clothing lines, things like that. So I've got a lot of things I'm thinking about, but I'm super learning about the natural health right now, and you know, doing Asian squats, you know, primal squats, good for your mobility. So all these like things I had no clue about, even if they're just like, whoa, there's a world out there I didn't know existed.
Where
And
can people find your music at now?
CamilleHarris.org is my hub for everything, or Camille.com. And you can find me on everywhere. I have a link tree to everything, but Camille Harris is my Instagram, and I'm on Facebook and TikTok and all the things. And so I'll be building up all those channels. I have my 2 things. I was talking to Jean. I was like, okay, should I mix all the health and music or separate? I had just been praying that day because I'm praying in the spirit, praying in tongues an hour a day, trying to up to that, you know, or more sometimes, but usually less. But it's changing my life. And he said, nope, do 1 channel for health and fitness, 1 channel for music and ministry. Don't do more than that. You'll swamp yourself. And then just have 1 website, and then you can send all the things there. So it's like, wow. So Jean is led by the Spirit. It seems so obvious now that I think about it, but I needed the wisdom. And I appreciate your care for me, my family, my life. You can always count on Jean's call however many times a year to just check in on all of us. And I'm sure you're doing it for many, many people. I don't even know how you do it. I just tell my dad, like, Jean is an example of a faithful person, you know, that's using just like you're just like right what you're at. It's like almost like you're using your full capacity. You know what I mean? And more than that, but like, I'm amazed. I'm very, very thankful for your life. You're very inspiring. So
Thank you. Well, it's been an honor to have you today. And I love the passion you have, and I love the goals that you have. And I'm going to let everyone know down the road, we will do a show on health and fitness for Christian artists. So thank you so much for joining us on today's Christian Music. God bless you. And we appreciate all you do.
Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to today's Christian music broadcast. We are an outreach of CSMI, Christian Songwriters and Musicians International. If you would like to be part of this broadcast, please email us at cwnnashville@gmail.com or go to our website, www.csmimusic.org.